February 2002. A hotel basement in Basel, Switzerland, chlorine, drifting from the pool next door. Two dealers set a wrap bundle on the table and slide it toward the buyer. He is not a collector. He answers to Swiss police, and the exits are already covered. Under that paper lies something that will decide whether two looters face prosecution or a career-defining find slips out of the state's hands forever. Hacked out of a German hillside, sold for the price of a family car, about to be clawed back by an archaeologist playing a buyer's agent. Westphal and Mario Renner swept a metal detector through the beech woods of Mittelberg Hill in July 1999, carrying no license. In Saxony-Anhalt, everything under that soil belongs to the state. Near the summit, the detector screamed. They went in with spades through loose soil and beech roots and struck something hard. Metal rang on metal. The blade bit the rim and sheared part of it away. They pulled it from the pit. Green, corroded bronze, gold catching the daylight, heavy as a dinner plate of solid metal. Neither man knew what he was holding, only that it would sell. Two men sold the oldest known picture of the night sky for less than the price of a family car. Within a single day of pulling it out of the hillside, Westphal and Mario Renner drove west and handed the whole hoard to a dealer in Cologne. 31,000 Deutsche Marks. That bought the disc, 2 bronze swords, 2 axes, a chisel, and the crushed fragments of spiral armbands. The two looters split the cash between them and walked away. Enough for a mid-range car in 1999 in exchange for a working map of the heavens. Then it disappeared. The disc moved hand to hand through Germany for the next 2 years, and each buyer priced it higher than the last, until the numbers on offer reached 1,000,000 marks. Nobody in that chain understood what they were holding. 3.5 millennia underground turned the bronze deep green. The gold never dimmed, roughly 30 centimeters across, about 2.2 kilograms of dead weight in the hand, its face studded with gold circles, set flush into the metal, a cluster of them still clinging to the surface. A full disk of gold, a crescent, and set between them 7 dots pressed tight into a bunch. The Pleiades, exactly as the naked eye gathers them out of a clear spring sky. 2 gold arcs hug the edge, each spanning 82 degrees, the exact angle between the sun's midsummer setting point and its midwinter one, measured from that hilltop. Not decoration. An instrument, hammered thin and built to be read. Reading the disc demands no telescope, only a trained eye and generations of patience. Someone stood on that hilltop night after night, year after year, long enough to catch the sky slipping out of step with the seasons. When that thin crescent hung beside the Pleiades in early spring, Bronze Age farmers wedged a 13th month into the year. 11 stolen days clawed back. Sow too early and frost kills the seed. Sow too late and the harvest rots in autumn rain. The disc set the date. Babylonian scribes wrote the same calendar principle into clay tablets nearly a millennium later, roughly 3,000 kilometers to the southeast. Someone on a German hilltop tracked that slippage first and answered it in gold hammered thin as a coin. The gold did not stay that way. The people who built the Nebra sky disk covered up 2 of their own stars. Gold arcs went onto the rim, and where a star lay beneath one, they moved it so the sky still read correctly. Under the microscope, the inlays betray them. 3 different golds, different silver traces, different hands. Later, someone wedged a feathered arc in among the stars, read since as a solar barge or a rainbow. Then they punched holes around the rim, riveting the disc in gold to some backing, perhaps to carry it aloft, and before burying it they tore one horizon arc off, revised for generations, then deliberately blinded. Around 1600 BC, some 3,500 years before any looter set a spade in that soil, someone hauled all of it up the Mittelberg. Then they cut a pit into the stony ground at the highest point on the hill, and laid the sky in the dirt. The objects did not go in flat. The disc stood on its edge in the ground, the sword set alongside it, packed into stony soil beneath a thin skin of beech leaves and root. That summit was chosen for what it sees. On the evening of the summer solstice, the sun drops behind the Brocken mountain far to the northwest, and the disc's gold arcs match that horizon exactly. The hill was the instrument. Putting the disc into the ground shut that instrument down for good, and nobody left a single mark to explain the decision. It simply stopped being used. By 2001, photographs of the disc were moving hand to hand between middlemen, and one reached Harald Meller, the state archaeologist of Saxony-Anhalt. Green bronze, gold stars, no find spot, no cellar, no proof. Meller stared at it and understood he was looking at something that should not exist. He looked at it and saw two possibilities, and only two. Either this was the find of a lifetime, or it was a forgery good enough to embarrass a career. The trade offered no way to tell the difference, and the price kept climbing. 31,000 marks at the field edge in 1999, 700,000 by the time the sellers put it in front of him. Meller could not buy it legally, and he could not wait, so he stopped behaving like an archaeologist. Meller took the problem to the Swiss. Basel police built him a character, an anonymous collector with deep pockets, no name, no questions, and cash ready on the day. The middleman bit. The venue mattered as much as the story. A hotel basement, one route in, exits covered by officers dressed as staff and guests. Meller would walk in as the buyer's agent, and he had to touch the disc, long enough to read the corrosion, the gold inlay, the weight in his palms, and long enough for two sellers to study his face for any flicker of an archaeologist recognizing the find of his life. One wrong expression, and the disc goes back into a car boot. The paper comes away, green bronze, gold catching the light, soil still crusted in the corrosion. Meller lifts it, turns it, finds the wound on the rim. A gouge where a spade bit the edge in 1999, shearing off part of the gold. The damage is the proof. No forger scars his own masterpiece. He sets it down. He gives the signal, and Swiss police come through the covered doors. The sellers are arrested where they sit, the disc seized. The oldest known image of the cosmos leaves the hotel in a police evidence container, torn from the hillside in July 1999, recovered in February 2002. In September 2003, a Naumburg court sentenced Westphal and Renner to 4 and 10 months. On appeal, the terms rose to 6 and 12. Their statements sent investigators back up the Mittelberg with them. The pit was still there, pickaxe scars in the rock. A water bottle one of them had dropped, and gold and copper leached into the surrounding soil by centuries of contact with buried metal. Sediment still clinging to the disc matched samples taken from that hole. So did the crust on one of the swords. The hoard and the hill locked together as a single find. Copper from ore near Salzburg in the Austrian Alps. Gold from the later phases traced to Cornwall, carried across a continent to a hillside in central Germany. 3 different golds, 3 separate reworkings of the same bronze plate. In 2013, UNESCO inscribed the disc on its Memory of the World Register. The spade tore away the layered ground that would have dated it beyond argument, so every rival claim, Iron Age 1,000 years late, gets answered by chemistry and probability instead of by the earth. 2 men earned 31,000 marks and destroyed the one page that could never be rewritten. The Nebra sky disk now sits in Halle, in the State Museum of Prehistory, lit behind glass. Across Europe, unlicensed detectorists still lift metal out of farmland every season and sell the ground it came from away with it. An archaeologist posing as a buyer clawed the object back in a Basel basement. What the looters scraped off the Mittelberg in one afternoon, roughly 3,600 years of sky held in bronze, no one can restore. The pit they cut holds nothing but beech roots and cold, dark soil.